I feel like I've been talking about book series in the past few weeks. I did recently upload a video about all of the book series that I want to start in 2026, as well as all of the book series that I'm in the middle of, which is insane to say that I think I was in the middle of 17 book series. Hopefully I'll be able to add more and also finish some more in 2026. But I thought it would be the perfect fit to talk about all of the duology that I want to start and hopefully finish in 2026. I just love a 2-book series because once you start the first book and you continue on with the series, you're basically done with the book series once you finish that second book. So if you're looking into a fantasy read that is short and sweet, hopefully this video will help you out. Let me just start with this first duology. I'm not really sure what it's called, but this is by Tricia Levenseller. The first book is called The Shadows Between Us, and the second one is called The Darkness Within Us. To be honest with you, I only bought this book because one, they were on sale at Barnes & Noble a year or so ago, and then this book has like its own bookmark, which I think is really smart. I feel like all books, especially maybe hardcover books, should have their own bookmarks so you don't have to like look for one. And of course the sprayed edges, it's hot pink and like blush pink, and I just feel like it's really cute. And like I said, I don't really know what this book is all about, but because it is just a 2-book series, it should be really quick to start and finish. And oh my gosh, I did not even know that it has this really pretty map on the first page of the first book. But let's just see if I could just read the synopsis from, you know, the little flap here. Alessandra is tired of being overlooked, but she has a plan to gain power. Number 1, woo the Shadow King. Number 2, marry him. Number 3, kill him and take his kingdom for herself. No one knows the extent of the freshly crowned Shadow King's power. Some say he can command the shadows that swirl around him to do his bidding. Others say they speak to him, whispering the thoughts of his enemies. Regardless, Alessandra knows what she deserves, and she's going to do everything within her power to get it. But Alessandra is not the only one trying to kill the king. As attempts on his life are made, she finds herself trying to keep him alive long enough for him to make her his queen, all while struggling not to lose her heart. After all, who better for a Shadow King than a cunning, villainous queen? It actually sounds pretty interesting, and like I said, only 2 books in the book series. I feel like it's gonna be really quick to get into and also really quick to finish. Let me know in the comment below if you guys have read this 2-book series. And I know that Tricia Levenseller has a few other book series that she has, and I've heard about this Daughter of the Pirate King trilogy. I think there's one that is called Daughter of the Pirate King, Daughter of the Siren Queen, and Vengeance of the Pirate Queen. And I've heard about this book series from a couple YouTubers that I follow, and they actually do love those book series. I have never really read anything that is around pirates, so let me know in the comment below if you have read that book series and if you like it, and maybe if I can find them on Book Outlet or something, I'll probably pick them up too. So the second duology that I want to share with you guys today is the one from Amber Chen. The first book is called Of Jade and Dragons, and the second one is The Blood Phoenix. I again haven't really heard about this book and what it's all about, but I found the first book at a library book sale for $1. It was in a pretty good condition, and I decided to pick it up because hello, $1. I think at the time I was also looking for more books by Asian authors. I definitely had quite a lot of contemporary romance by Asian authors already, but I couldn't really find anything that is interesting to me that is in like the fantasy genre because I wanted to start reading more fantasy. I found this book and I decided to pick it up. Our FMC is 18-year-old and she dreams of becoming a world-class engineer just like her father. But after his unexpected murder, a heartbroken Ying is determined to discover why anyone would threaten a man who ultimately chose a quiet life over fame and fortune. So her dad left her this journal all about his engineering secrets and also a jade pendant that she snatched from the assassin. She decided to follow the trail to the capital and the prestigious Engineers Guild, a place that harbors her father's hidden past. And she disguised herself as her brother She manages to infiltrate the male-only apprenticeship trial with the help of an unlikely ally. Ying must stay one step ahead of her fellow competitors, the jealous guildmasters, and the killer that is still hunting for her father's journal. Complicating everything is her increasingly tangled relationship with the prince, which is the ally, who has a mysterious plan of his own. The secrets hidden within the guild can be as deadly as the weapons they build, and with her life and the country's future at stake, Ying doesn't know who to trust. And can she avenge her father if it means going against everything he stood for? I just think that this duology would be such a great one. I'm trying not to really look at the back of the book of the second one because I do not want to spoil the whole book series for myself. But if you have read this duology, please let me know in the comment below and convince me to read it this year. This second duology, I'm pretty sure this is only gonna be a duology. I haven't really looked into it much more, but this one is the duology by Lindsay Straub. I think that is how you say her last name. But the first book is Kiss of the Basilisk, and the second one is Between Two Kings. I actually already read up to like maybe 60% of the first book. I decided to borrow it first from Libby because this genre is not something that is like my comfortable genre to read, so I decided to borrow it first before actually buying the whole book series. I did stop at 60%, and I know that that is the spot when something big is gonna happen that's gonna change everything in the story, so I definitely want to pick this back up again, hopefully this year. I should also tell you that this one is super spicy. I've been enjoying it so far, but if you're not into spicy books, maybe don't pick this up. But this one is about 20-year-old temperance theorist who has never been kissed, but that is what the basilisk is for. Along with 13 other contestants, Tem must train with a basilisk to learn the power of seduction and win the prince's hand in marriage. When Tem is matched with Caspian, the Serpent King, she realizes that she might actually stand a chance. But with tension rising between the basilisk and the humans, Tem is suddenly torn in two directions. As her bond with Caspian deepens, so does her connection with the prince, when she uncovers a terrible secret about the royal family. Tem finds herself caught between two worlds, neither of which she can survive without. I already know like the plot twists in the first book, maybe the two plot twists in the first book. Those two plot twists are just super interesting, and now that I'm holding this book again, I think I might continue on with the first book this year. I still remember what happened so far in the book, and that is just how I think good the storyline is and the plot. If you've never really read this type of romance book, I think the plot twists are kind of insane and just so unbelievable, I feel like, in the contemporary romance world. But because this is, I feel like, fantasy, or maybe even fantasy dark romance, is that what you would call it? I don't know. Like, if you guys are more familiar with the genre of this book, let me know in the comment below where would you classify this book, because yes, it is dark romance, but it's not contemporary. It's like set in a very fantasy world because there's basilisk and humans. Anyways, I am definitely going to continue this book series and also start the second one. From the synopsis, you know there's gonna be two love interests kind of like vying for her heart, and I think it continues in the second book, so I'm excited to read this one as well. I guess let's just talk about this next duology because I feel like this is pretty popular, probably from the last few years or so, and it is the, I don't know what the duology is called, but the first book is Divine Rivals and the second book is Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross. I actually started reading Divine Rivals probably towards the end of 2025, but I don't know, for some reason I couldn't really get into the book. I think it's because, I don't know, the font or something, or I was just not in the mood at all to read this fantasy. This one is about our FMC who is kind of living in this world where there's a war and her brother is missing. I think her mom is sick or something like that. She is a journalist and she found this typewriter that is kind of magical, and she was trying to type out letters to her brother that is technically missing. Somebody actually replied and they've been kind of writing back and forth, and she doesn't know that the person who responded to her letter to her supposedly brother is actually her rival. So I just want to know what is going on with this world. I know in the beginning of the book She was kind of saying goodbye to her brother because her brother is going off to a war, and that's about all I know from reading the first few pages. So I cannot wait to hopefully start this book series and read it this year. And I again also already have both of the books in my personal collection. I know there's a prequel book, I forgot what it's called, that was also kind of popular, and people who have read this duology also is kind of a fan of that book. So I will finish this book first, these two books first, before getting that prequel book, but I can make no promises. The next duology that I've heard of so much is this one by Kaylee Smith. The first book is Phantasma. The second book is called Enchantra. I think this one is similar to the Caraval trilogy, which means that there is kind of like a deadly game in this duology that our main character has to win over, or she's gonna lose someone or something. I think this one is about like a couple sisters as well. Phantasma only has two rules: stay alive and do not fall in love. When Ophelia discovers her mother brutally murdered, there is no time to grieve. She has inherited the family's fearsome magic and enormous debt. Circumstances go from dire to deadly. However, when Ophelia's sister decides to pay off the loan by entering Phantasma, a competition where contestants rarely escape alive and the victor is granted a single wish. The only way for Ophelia to save her sister is to win. But Phantasma is a cursed manor, full of twisting corridors and lavish ballrooms, staffed by enticing demons and fatal temptations. And Ophelia must conquer all 9 floors to succeed if her fears do not overtake her first. When a charming, arrogant stranger claims he can help, Ophelia knows better than to trust him. But with her sister's life on the line, Ophelia cannot afford to turn him away. She will just need to ignore the overwhelming dark attraction, drawing them closer and closer together. Because in Phantasma, the only thing deadlier than losing the game is losing your heart. I feel like after reading this synopsis, it is pretty similar to Kingdom of the Wicked. I think that's what it's called. It has like those two elements where there's a sister involved, there's a murder involved, and also kind of like the game, the deadly game. I cannot wait to read this book, and I definitely would love to at least try and read the first book this year. So the next duology, it's actually a dystopian fantasy book that is translated from Korean to English, and it is the Snow Globe duology. This first one is called Snow Globe, and the second book is just called Snow Globe 2. I actually learned about this duology from a Barnes & Noble bookseller. She was really talking up this book so much, and it just kind of piqued my interest. The main character in this book is kind of taking over this other girl's role, because I think this whole living situation in this universe is stream or something. I think it's like a show, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's a television programming. So the main character took over this other girl's role because I think that other girl is dead now or something. But it was just kind of weird because she got moved into this snow globe. Like everywhere else in this universe is basically frozen except for this area in this snow globe. So there's like things that are going on in this dome. Let me just read through the thing real quick with you. Enclosed under a vast dome, Snow Globe is the last place on Earth that is warm. Outside Snow Globe is a frozen wasteland, and every day citizens face the icy world to get to their jobs at the power plant, where they produce the energy Snow Globe needs to keep running. Their only solace comes in the form of 24-hour television programming streamed directly from the dome city. The residents of Snow Globe have everything: fame, fortune, and above all, safety from the desolation outside their walls. In exchange, their lives are broadcast to the less fortunate, who watch eagerly, hoping for the chance to one day become actors themselves. I just cannot wait to read this book, hopefully soon. Like the bookseller from Barnes & Noble that were talking about this book said that this is one of the most interesting books that she read so far. So I think it's gonna be pretty interesting. It's definitely something that I haven't really read before. However, if you have read these two books. Let me know in the comment below what you think about them. This is technically the last duology that I'm sharing with you in today's video, but I do have a few more. So if you want kind of like a part 2 of this video, let me know in the comment below or like this video to let me know. Anyways, the last one is, I think, the Crimson Moth duology. I think that's what it's called. The first book is Heartless Hunter and the second one is called Rebel Witch. I feel like this duology again also has been talked so much and it's been talked so highly. People who read the first one said that this book is great, and then they continue on with the second one and still think about the series the same way, that both of these books are great. So of course I have to pick it up when I believe Book Outlet has a sale. If you don't know what this is all about, I think this is about a witch and a witch hunter falling in love. So one night, Rune's life changed forever. Blood ran in the streets. Now, in the aftermath of a devastating revolution, witches have been diminished from powerful rulers to outcasts ruthlessly hunted due to their waning magic, and Rune must hide what she is. Spending her days pretending to be nothing more than a vapid young socialite, Rune spends her nights as the Crimson Moth, a witch vigilante who rescues her kind from being purged. When her rescue goes wrong, she decides to throw the witch hunters off her scent and gain the intel she desperately needs by courting the handsome Gideon Sharp. He's a notorious witch hunter, loyal to the revolution, and too late, Rune realizes she might be falling for him. Gideon loathes the decadence and superficiality Rune represents, but when he learns the Crimson Moth has been using Rune's merchant ships to smuggle renegade witches out of the Republic, he inserts himself into her social circles by pretending to court her. He soon realizes that beneath her beauty and shallow facade is someone fiercely intelligent and tender who feels like his perfect match. Except, what if she's the very villain he's been hunting? Okay, so she knows who he is, which is the witch hunter, but he doesn't know that she is the Crimson Moth. That is actually sounds super interesting. I think this is gonna be a truly like enemies to lover romantasy book, which again I'm super excited to read. I am really hoping that I get to read this duology as well, at least start with the first book this year. Let me just count how many duology I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 duology that I shared with you in today's video. Let me know in the comment below which duology you have started and maybe finished, and convince me on which one to start first.